Man, is it hot today. It's been a little while since I made another video, but I thought that another video needed to be made, so here I am. The subject for today is Morning Glory seeds, particularly, and I guess Morning Glories in general. I have two cultivars of Morning Glory that grow in my backyard. They're both Ipomoea genus. One of them is Ipomoea nil, and the other one is Ipomoea Tricolor, which I think a lot of people are aware of. Mostly because the seeds of Ipomoea genus, but particularly Ipomoea Tricolor, are pretty popular as an ethogen and as a precursor, or as an ingredient rather, to making an ergine or an LSA compound. But that's not what I use them for at all. That probably sounds unconvincing, but I took some of the seeds because my Morning Glory started to make seeds. They seeded themselves, is what I mean. And I was very surprised because the nil cultivar that I have growing in my backyard, it never makes seeds. It was the strangest thing. I think it's a good thing, actually, because a lot of Morning Glories are quite invasive, so that can be kind of a nuisance, and it can be very bad for the local environment. If you have a lot of invasive species that are getting out and they're overtaking areas and making native populations die out, and things of that nature. But I always thought it was strange. I always wondered what the reasoning was. Maybe the pollination was bad. Sometimes sometimes fruits don't form because the pollination was bad, or there's damage to the plant or something. Something had to be aborted, so the seed never came to pass. But I'm not quite sure whether it's the heat or whether maybe it was developed that way. Maybe it's like a modified genetically in some ways, that it would have sort of a seed kill switch or something to that nature. I'm not quite sure, but for whatever reason, the nil cultivar that I have never made seeds. But and let me help you out here to see the seed pods that I have in the background. They totally did make seeds. Oh, that's not in focus. Oh, but you can see them, right? I'll just bring some over to you instead. These are the pods that let me just, oh well, let's take this out right here. So, oh, that's not a good pod. Let me take another one. Some of these they're pretty fragile. But here you can see a mostly intact pod. It's a Morning Glory seed pod. And if you open it up, you can have at the seeds. And in here, it looks like it came with about four seeds. So you can get 4 seeds out of one pod. And the pods are pretty cool looking, I think. They're shaped sort of like a teardrop, and the seeds are very hard. And anyways, so these are what the seeds kind of look up in a bunch. But so my Morning Glories never made those seeds, and I never understood why. But these ones do, and that means I'll have to be careful about reseeding and having those get out of control. But I think I'll be okay, because this is my backyard, and I come out here, at the very least maybe once or twice a day. So I would be very surprised if something got totally out of hand. The Nil cultivar, however, I have let get out of hand, and I'm going to have to chop it back in a very big way. In fact, it got so out of hand that it's now residing in the bulk of it is residing in the in-between section between my house and my neighbor's house, in the fence line. So there's no way for me to get at those roots, and there's no way for me to get out at that plant. So it'll be a constant battle between the tenacity of that plant and my brambles, my blackberries, my blueberries, my my loquat or kumquat tree, and things like that. So if I want those to survive, the Morning Glory has to go. I wonder if these seeds got pollinated by the Nil cultivar as well. That's something that I wonder is the case, because these cultivars and these species are pretty readily they're pretty readily hybridable or hybridized. So it's pretty easy, I would think, to crossbreed these flowers. Now that doesn't mean you're going to get a really different looking flower. I don't think. There's probably a lot of co-dominance and and expression genetics that goes into that, but I don't think it might be kind of like having the coats of a dog that will change depending on the parents, of course, pretty easily. Maybe I should plant some of these seeds and find out. But for now, I think I'll just take out all the pods and maybe take some pictures and show you. For those who are wondering, I have a hulu, or a bottle gourd vine that's also growing in this area right here, and it had a couple of flowers that you can tell. It looks like they didn't look so hot. I think maybe with the way I watered them or something is what happened. But oh yeah, that's unfortunate. But I really wanted to get some bottle gourds going. Oh well. But we'll see what happens with this vine. The vine looks fine. The flowers, however, not so much. And then over to its over to this angle, we have some more of the Morning Glories that are growing and doing pretty well. It looks like we have a couple of leaf miners coming into these leaves. Although I think that the alkaloid content in the leaves makes a lot of predators not really big fans of eating these plants, which is, good for us, right? And good for the plant, of course. But maybe a few of them, maybe that's why the leaf mines didn't get so big. Either the species is very small, or because the plant was a little too much for the insect. Anyway, let me take another here. Let me get another seed pod or two, so you guys can take a look. Might have to break out my knife. Hope not. Oh. Okay, so I guess I took out this pod, which is also not totally complete, but there should be a seed in there. Oh, there, yeah. There's some seeds in here. See? So this one had only 3. So maybe they were immature or something. But yeah, so I'm kind of glad to finally see the seeds actually get developed. Not because I'm going to go into production for LSA or anything like that, but because I just think because I always wonder if there was something defective with the plants that I had, and I'm sure I'll make another video maybe comparing the Morning Glory cultivars that I have, and maybe I'm correct about the cultivars, I'm not so sure. There's like thousands of species of Morning Glory in general, but I think in the genus alone of Ipomoea, I think it's like maybe almost 1,000 or something very big, maybe 500, 800. A good And then that's probably not even counting the cultivars, which are like subspecies, so a huge amount. But anyways, I'm rambling, and I don't want to do that. Let's see, is there anything else interesting to talk about? Well, besides the fact that my camera angle is a little bit crooked, I guess not so much. My garden is really being affected by the drought right now. Yeah, I don't really like that too much, but I have to come out here and I have to water and make sure things don't die. Yeah, I guess that's about it. I will upload more videos if more interesting things happen. Talk to you soon, I guess. Have a good day. Filming, I figured I would just cut off a couple of these seed pods so you could get a better look at them. So this is what they look like on the vine after they've dried. You know, you can see I think that was the calyx of the of the flower. The calyx are these spikes that are coming out, they're jetting out, you know, and of course the flower petals become the fruit. So I guess if you want to be technical, this is the seed pod. This is the fruit of the Morning Glory. I think that's the right botanical term. I'm really putting myself on the spot here. It is Fundamental Botany 101. But yeah, so these are the seed pods. Using a colloquial term, I'll be a little bit more safe. Sometimes plants are weird and they have strange or non-standard names for their parts, I guess you could say. And then here we have the seeds. Some of them are a little bit darker brown and some of them are a little bit lighter brown. And I'm assuming that the darker brown ones are more mature and maybe the lighter brown ones are immature, but I wonder if they'll be stunted if I plant them. I'm thinking about doing that myself. Yeah, so that's what they look like. And if you have any questions, let me know. See you later.